Well, brightest regards, wise ones, and welcome to my show. I'm Lady Leeanna, and this, of course, is Tarot Card Lessons Made Easy, whereas, as ever, I am so happy to be able to be talking with you here today. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about the Four of Cups in the upright position, where it's a generally calm card. As a matter of fact, a lot of the references within the card is in the ideal of turning in to oneself for answers, wanting to embark on new ventures but hesitancy to do so is one of the older meanings of the card. Now you have a tall tree reaching up above the person that's resting below, and it has a knothole about 3/4 of the way up toward the foliage. Now, the tree itself can refer a lot of times to fertility, reaching all-time heights within oneself, growth and expansion within one's being. Now, the knothole is something that is on the outside and reaching inward, isn't it? Which would give a reference to that turning in to oneself to find answers that lie within. And the person that's resting at the base, and it can be a guy or a girl by today's standards, there's a lot of women with short hair, and the person is resting about midways of that hill. Now, as I've talked to you before about the hills and mountains within the cards could refer to reaching heights, but the person is midway. He also looks very content there, as a matter of fact, with arms and legs crossed. Is taking a bit of a stubborn stance there, saying, I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to budge, I'm not going to move. And rest midway of that hill, meaning not at the bottom, in whatever, situation the person might be embarking on, especially money and finances, or even in a relationship. I'm not at the bottom, but I'm midways up. I could climb higher, I could reach better heights, but I'm going to sit right here. And that's what this person seems to be saying with this. As a matter of fact, a cup, a proposal, a proposition, an invitation is being extended to this person. But this person ain't even looking at that cup. This person is looking at the 3 cups that rest already on the ground at his feet, or her feet. 3 is not a stable number. 4 is a stable number. In numerology, it refers to stability and foundation. But imagine a table where it's missing one leg. Then it's a bit unstable, and it could be almost there and holding its ground, but it's not. And so the person could be depriving themselves of reaching higher places by not reaching the higher portion of that hill. Or taking that cup and adding it to the other 4 for that matter. Now that hand, it's the unseen force. It's a higher being or a person within a higher placement within whatever it is that's being there. It could refer to somebody that's not on a higher place even. Maybe someone that's just putting forth a proposal. An individual. With that, you could be talking about a proposal of marriage is on the docket. Something that could happen, but the person ain't even looking at that, so maybe they're not ready for marriage yet. Maybe they're not ready to carry this relationship to a deeper level. Maybe it's not about marriage at all. Maybe it's about a roommate proposition, invitation, or proposal that could potentially stabilize the individual sitting on halfway up the hill, but this person isn't very trusting either of that, meaning that they could do better financially if they were to take this proposition, invitation, or proposal, but they're not even wanting to look at that yet. They're wanting to think about it more. They're not ready to jump on this. It could be a job offer. Maybe the person is already on a job and in a mid-range area of or position on that job that they're in, and someone wants to elevate them to a higher position, but they're not sure that they want to change this company that they have maybe a long time standing with. Their job is very secure. They've been there for 10, 13 years or whatever, and if they were to change it, perhaps this other company isn't stable and could jeopardize their well-being and then be left without a job. So you see, there's a lot of meaning in this card to do with propositions, invitations, and proposals. And this person, going by the oldest standard Rider Waite meanings in the card, dissatisfied with earthly position, but hesitant to embark on new ventures. That is what the book was in 1983. I'm not sure that that's the year that that one was published. It was probably published before that at some point, but it was the book that I had and was learning from at that point. Dissatisfied with earthly position, but hesitancy to embark on new ventures. And so, midway of that hill. Content, as the blue and the leggings would suggest. The color blue, symbology-wise, is comfort, peace, and tranquility. So being at a comfortable place where they're at, they know they could do better and maybe even want to, but they're comfortable or content enough with where they're at. They're not all in a hurry to go and change this. At the same time, the red in the tunic that this person is wearing indicates vibrancy and life and ambition to climb to new heights and make it, to succeed. So there's a confrontation between the red in the shirt and the blue in the pants, the leggings. The off-white or sage green looking smock that goes over the red shirt and the blue pants kind of gives a not pure within this area or field, whether it's business. They're well broken in, although they're not all together there yet either. And so even the smock that is going over the other clothes can make a reference to could climb higher but isn't at the bottom. In love, it's not a pure true love yet. It hasn't reached the heights that it could, but hesitancy to go further. Maybe afraid of letting go of that single life. Or perhaps they're just not trusting of this individual yet. Maybe they've been hurt in the past. Love has been kind of dingied for them, according to that off-white smock. So these are the kind of meanings that could be drawn from the card. Also, I want to call your attention to the big blue mountain. Sorry, I hit the mic and I didn't mean to damage your eardrums if I did. But the big blue mountain way off in the backdrop of the card kind of gives, I think it's over this person's right shoulder, but kind of gives an indication that they've got a good ways to go before they reach the top, or even start making that big climb to getting toward the top. A long way to go, so gives an indication as to why stop there. So it's positive and light, this idea of proposition being extended, but this person just doesn't know yet whether they're ready to take up that chalice. Now, the cups within the cards make a lot of reference to love, but we all know that water can make a big reference to subconscious mind stuff, depth within the subconscious or even the superconscious. A lot of, digging, or rather diving into the self could transpire here to get to the bottom of what makes this person so hesitant to go forward that could help them fulfill themselves to the extent that they potentially could. And so when this card falls up in a spread, then you would look at the other cards first and foremost to give an idea as to whether it's talking about love or talking about business and finances. So, spiritually speaking, this card can make a reference to climbing to heights within the spiritual self. The card could definitely be very spiritual. It could talk about psychism, ability to tap into your psychic abilities and use those to make happen great things. It could be talking about a pathway that you're not fulfilled in and maybe are hesitant to go down that pathway further. Maybe you're just content in owning the amount of spiritual knowledge that you have acquired this far, and really just so content there that you don't really want to proceed further, although others may be encouraging you to do so. Now, in a lot of these cases, you would look at the other cards around it to not only determine as to whether it's talking about love and relationship, or talking about money and wealth, business, or if it's talking about spiritual matters, but you would also look at it and discern as to whether you should right now, or if it's more right that you should stay where you are for the time being, or perhaps, you know, things are, you know, being extended with the best of heart, but could always turn against that person on the pathway of embarkment, and should take their time because it could go terribly wrong. And so it could answer the question as to whether a person should proceed with that job offer, if that's what their actual question is. I really do try to be of a great help to you guys. If you would like to support the channel, consider getting a professional reading done by me and Mystic Shadow Insights by contacting me at the email address across the screen right now. And if you want to support in other ways, definitely look in the description of the video. All of the information is definitely there. Thank you so much, and it's really good talking to you guys again. Bye-bye.